Good evening, everyone. Today we are going to study 30th Indian Express newspaper, and I have already highlighted some of the important things. Now, BJP MP Baluni to fund museum platinum in Uttarakhand means there is going to be a museum in Uttarakhand, a unique Himalayan museum along with the planetarium. There would be a planetarium as well, which will be constructed under the 30 crore rupees, and it will be a major tourist attraction. All right, the facility will come up the Badrinath route. All right, in the Badrinath route, it will come up with the Himalayan range visible at the distance, and Himalayan range will also be visible at the distance. And Baluni said that it will be unique facility where the astronomical, geological, geographical, historical, and cultural knowledge about the region will be able under one roof. That means, in the Badrinath route of Uttarakhand, there will be an unique museum with planetarium, and it will be of around 30 crore rupees. It will be a major tourist attraction, and it will be a unique facility where astronomical, geographical, historical, and cultural knowledge about the region will be discovered. All right, let's go through this. Historian Ranajit Guha. All right, remember the name. Historian Ranajit Guha, a pioneer figure in the subaltern studies, died at 99. Now, who he is? Now, he was a great. He wrote many books. Elementary aspect of peasant insurgency in colonial India in 1983 is a wide considered a classic. His other notable books are A Rule of Property for Bengal in 1963, Elementary Aspect of Peasant Insurgency in Colonial India in 1983, and Dominance Without Hegemony, History and Power in Colonial India in 1997. All right, Ranajit Guha. He was a great scholar of subaltern studies. Now, you will ask, what is subaltern studies? Let's move forward. The word subaltern stand for of inferior ranks. Of inferior ranks, it will be used in these pages as a general attribute of substantial in South Asia. So South Indian society, South Asian society expressed in terms of caste, class, gender, and office. Now, subordinate cannot be understood except as one of the constitution term in a arbitrary relationship of which the other is dominance for substand group also are also subjected to activities of ruling groups even when they rebel and rise up. Now, subaltern as a demographic differences between the total Indian population and although all those whom we described as elite. All right, let's move forward. The tension rise in Manipur town, curfew imposed. Now let's talk about it. Now, in which district of Manipur it happened? It happened in Churachandarpur, Churachandpur district of Manipur. It remained tense. It is because of this Tubong area. All right, Tubong. Tubong is like Tubong is zero, and it is a clash between the protesters and the police. All right, Tubong area of Churachandpur. Churachandpur means Chand ko chura le. Churachandpur of Tubong area, different place, different name. And there was a clash against the land survey. Means the government is doing a land survey, but they don't want it to be done. Now, the government has property right over a protected forest as a provision of Indian Forest Act of 1927. Now, as per 1927, India has the government has full right to survey any land, and it has even given the right for hunting and gazing, and sometimes given to communities living in on the fringes who sustain their livelihood partially on the wholly from the forest resources of the products. And the recent land survey has triggered eviction fear among Chandrasur tribes, leading a violent protest. All right. Now, Churachandpur tribal area has been the rife with apprehension that the accumulated land and the forest survey done with the government recently will lead to tribal land in hill district being declared a protected area. That means if that area is declared as a protected forest, then they might be shifted to some other places, and they don't want. Manipur people don't want it, and Montobing, secretary of ITLF. All right, ITLF is Indigenous Tribal Leader Forum, and he's doing non-cooperation movement against the Byron Singh government. He questioned the government motive for conducting the survey. All right, it should have been done with the consent of people. What he demands. Now the Manipur has Byron Singh has also done one very good step he has taken. There is a car in which an surveillance system is there which can identify the people who are inhabitant of Manipur and who are not inhabitant of that place. I will talk later on. I've just I just read it on the one of the article which came in on my mobile phone. Now, what he said that soon people will be evacuated. All right, just like a village also happened in 1927, and they are even telling that we don't want to meet the fate of K Sonjang village that was evacuated early this year. And the village K Songjang was established in 1927, much earlier, even before the Gazette notification. All right, and still they are evacuated. Now we don't want to have that kind of system again, and yet to be rehabilitated, and they are not even rehabilitated now when they were taken away from the people. All right, and the Churachand Korampur Protected Forest, it covers an area of around 490 square kilometers and is spread across the three districts: Churachand, Bishnupur, and Noni. All right, I hope it is understandable now. Now there has been talk between the Indian Defense, Chanakya Forum, uh, yes, Chanakya Forum and the Admiral of the Navy. That means the Admiral Hari Singh. All right. Now, what he said that Navy third indigenous stealth destroyer of the project IB-5 class, planned to commission later this year, undertakes its maiden sea journey on Friday. That means uh, a new uh, a new destroyer, stealth destroyer, has been adding this year in the Indian Navy. Has been commissioning. It is under the project 115B class, 15B class, and he also said that he's having a close watch in the Chinese vessels in Indian Ocean region. All right. Now, what he said that in the Indian Ocean region, PLA's navy is docking its ship at port in Pakistan at the port of other countries. All right, so they have string of pearls and Belt and Road Initiative. This China, and so it's docking its ship in the ports of Pakistan. I will talk later about more about the this what is the situation of China with India. All right. Now, a certain amount of contest is taking place daily at sea. All right, some kind of problems are daily happening in sea, and the PLA has added more corvettes and frigates to its navy, to its fleet, and three aircraft carriers is under construction, and PLA navy is working so much on larger destroyers. All right, that means he said that three aircraft carriers is under third aircraft carrier is under construction, and the PLA's navy is working on much larger destroyer. Means it is working on its third aircraft carrier. Along with that, PLA navy is also working on larger destroyers. So it's a matter of concern if anything happens in the future. And Navy said that we deployed aircrafts. They have deployed aircrafts, UAVs, 24/7, and submarines towards that. All right, their surveillance, they're using surveillance for the Indian Ocean region continuously 24/7. And Air Chief Marshal VR Bhadoria also said, sorry, not Bhadoria, Chaudhary. VR Chaudhary said that Indian Air Force in future will have space-based offensive system, and that means Air Force will be going to the space. They will having a space-based offensive system, and as well as leading to reduce response time and greater effect on adversary. All right, means response time will be less, and along with that, the defense minister has also told that the now Air Force will be Indian Aero Space Force. All right, Indo Aero Space Force. Now let's move forward. Now, okay. Now, Azerbaijan, Armenia to hold peace talks today in Washington. That means on 30th, they holded a peace talk with one another. They must be having some dispute in the land area, which I'll talk later on. Now, Armenia and Azerbaijan, these both countries are holding a peace talk in the Washington. They are trying to normalize the relation, all right. And Armenia's foreign minister has said that the mountain region is internationally recognized as part of Azerbaijan. That means the mountain region, the disputed area where the mountain region is there, it is part of Azerbaijan, all right. And but the population mainly by ethnic Armenians, but means internationally that part, that completely mountain is part of Azerbaijan. But if we talk about ethnically, then the people are living there are Armenians, so they are having dispute which country would be bought, all right, who should be given and what not to be given. That area, though, they are having peace talk at the Washington, and despite years of attempts mediation between them, Armenia and Azerbaijan have yet to reach a peace agreement that would settle outside issues such as demarcation of borders and return of prisoners. So they might have done some prisoners also. There must be some little armed rebellion as well as, and there is no proper demarcation of proper bordering. So it might have affected the both of the countries. So they are having a peace talk in the Washington. Now the US seizes Iran oil cargo on tanker at sea. All right, that means Iranian oil cargo tanker was going, and US has seized it amid Tehran nuclear deal tension, because of the Tehran nuclear deal tension. All right. Now the Iran sees another. Later, Iran sees another oil-laden tanker in retaliation. That means the US confiscated Iranian oil on a tanker at sea in recent day in a sanction enforcement operation. Three sources said that the day later, Iran sees another oil-laden tanker in retaliation, according to a maritime security firm. Now, cargo seize is the largest escalation between Washington and Tehran. All right, cargo seizing is happening between Tehran and Washington. And Iran nuclear program. Iran does not recognize the sanction. Iran is not recognizing the sanction, and its oil export has been rising day by day. And Tehran says its nuclear program is for civilian purpose, while Washington suspects Iran wants to develop a nuclear bomb. All right, Tehran is saying that the nuclear project is for the civilian purpose, while Washington suspects that Iran wants to develop a nuclear bomb. So now, because Iran and Russia's are quite closer, that's why USA is having some problem, and Iran has previously responded it for tit for tat following seizure of Iranian oil Congo. All right. Now Washington took control of the oil Congo about the Marshall Islands tanker Swiss. All right, and the tanker last reported position was near southern Africa. That is in Switzerland is there itself, and in the Marshall Islands they have founded it, and in the southern Africa they seized it. All right, and we will talk later a bit more on it. What is that situation completely in later on video. Now Japan PM Kishida to visit South Korea will meet President Yoon. All right, he's going to meet President Yoon in the South Korea. He's also inviting him for the SEO summit, sorry, G7 summit, which is going to happening in Hiroshima soon. Now, Japanese PM for Prime Minister Fumio Kishida visits South Korea coming in coming weeks, and along with that, in the group of seven meeting, Kishida is also presiding it, so he might have bought some invitation for the South Koreans as well, and their aim will be confirm the two neighbors strengthen the cooperation over North Korea ahead of Hiroshima G7 summit. That means he will be asking cooperation from North South Korea for the attribution and for the atrocities done by the North Korean government, and to have a better Indo-Pacific region. All right. So he has invited them as well. Now let's move forward. Uh, Indian oil costs dividend totaling up to $400 million from Russia project stuck. That means Russian project has been stuck and India has got around $400 million. Now the four public sector oil gas companies, ONGCs, and Oil India Corporation, Bharat Petroleum have stocks in various oil and gas projects in Russia. That means Indians have invested lot more in the gas projects of Russia, and major Russian banks were banned from society from Worldwide International Bank, the financial telecom, that is Society for Wild Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecom, that is Swiss system. Again, let me tell the full form of SWIFT. The Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. Finance transport translation process system seriously constructing Moscow ability to access the global payment system. All right. This hinterland dividend payment to Indian oil and gas companies and the clues have ballooned to nearly 400 million over the past year and so. All right. The Oil and Natural Gas Corporation (ONGC) holds 20% stocks in Shakhlin and 26% in Valcon. All right. The India and Russia have been discussing the issue on a regular basis, and efforts are on from both sides to resolve it. While the dividend dues are not small in amount, they are significant in comparison to overall oil trade between Russia and India and no bearing on it. We are programmed to work out mechanism to facilitate trade with Russia, not hinder it. That means Indians said that we don't want to hinder the ongoing logistic and economic ties with Russia. We want to improve it. From being a marginal supplier of crude oil to India before the war in Ukraine, Russia has emerged as New Delhi's biggest source for oil over the past year, overtaking heavyweights like Iraq and Saudi Arabia. Iran refiners started snapping up Russian crude, which was being offered at a discount by Moscow. At the West began to shun Russian barrel. All right, we have to understand this. That earlier the crude oil provided by the Russia was little less. All right, but after before the war of Ukraine and when the war of Ukraine happened, Russia has become as the biggest source of oil over the past years, overtaking heavy takes like Iraq and Arabia. Both of them were heavy producers, heavy suppliers of oil, but now Russia has taken over them, and refining started snapping up Russian crude oil. All right, Indians refiners started snapping up Indian Russian crude, which was being offered at discount by Moscow. At the West began to shun the Russian barrel. That means at heavy discounts, the Russians have given us the oil, and the rapid expansion in oil trade between the two countries resulted in Moscow storming into Club of India top 5 partners from 2023 fiscal. Prior to that, Russia was not even among the Indian top 20 trade partners. Means earlier, before the Ukraine conflict, Russia, what Russia did, Russia was not even the top 20 trade partners of India with when it comes to exporting of the oil. But after this Ukraine situation happened, Moscow became the top 5 among the top 5 countries to bring oil to India. And India refines are facing difficulties clearing payment from oil purchases from Russia due to West curbs and sanctions. All right. Indian refineries are facing difficulties clearing payment for the oil purchase from Russia because there is no proper, financial system between these countries. That what kind of in what they should trade, either it's UPI or the Russian rubles. All right, or in rupees, and because West has sanctioned it and nobody's using dollar in between, and there are no problems, and the companies are managing to pay from oil through available mechanism. All right, as Europe banned Russian oil imports, and major Western powers and their allies imposed $60 per barrel on Russian oil. That means they are imposed a $60 per barrel on Russian oil, and the price prohibited Western shippers and insurgents from getting involved in trade of Russian oil if the price above 60 price per barrel. All right. India does not recognize any price cap or sanction imposed on Russia by the West. Major public sectors like State Bank of India and Bank of Baroda has reportedly been reluctant to clear payments of Russian oil bought at above capital of Indian refineries. That means uh, the State Bank of India and Bank of Baroda are having some problem in clearing the payment for the Russia. And Indian refineries have also stepped up purchasing of sweeter crude grades, which have traded above the price capital. That means $60 per barrel. They have traded above it, and some Indian refineries were paying for Russian oil sold above the price cap in United Arab Emirates dirham. That means some of the Indian refineries have also paid in dirham to to the Russians. That means they have paid in UAE's dirhams. So this is all about that, and thank you everyone for listening. And Jai Hind.